to make a genuine, intentional change? Welcome to the Magic is Messy podcast.
Welcome, race fans.
Welcome! Huzzah to the tipper. Huzzah! Welcome, gentlemen, ladies, sisters, misters, to all of the freaks and geeks and magical peeps, the guys, gals, the non-binary pals, the cats and the kittens. Thanks for listening. I am Kitty D, and here she is.
It's Ace. And me.
Oh, man.
What if we try, like, every episode? What if we
do
just
a different
screw it up
rendition?
every time? Now watch, we're gonna commit to screwing up every single time, and then we'll get it.
Is that the spell that you're putting it?
That is.
Reverse psychology,
My
baby.
favorite part of that was how your face looked like, I don't know if I love that choice for you.
Well, we'll try some other time. We'll try it next time. No, Ace, welcome back, girlfriend.
Yes, thank you.
It's good to see your face, Ace.
It's good to have my face be seen by your face.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's good to be seen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a very Prince thing of you to say.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Have my face be seen?
Oh, it's good to see you. I said, it's good to be seen. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. 100%.
He was so smarmy.
Speaking of Prince, that sexy motherfucker.
He is the inspiration for today's episode.
Oh, I mean, he has a lot of inspiration in my sexual energy.
For real?
I was actually, with the boys in the band, we were talking about the first time we noticed our sexuality, or we noticed that we were turned on, or right? And it was a very open conversation, super cool to bond with my band boys like that. And, Shooter was like, yeah, Madonna. It was Madonna. When I saw her for the first time, I was like, ooh, right? I know what I'm doing here now. I felt the little tingle in me Pringle, if you know what I mean. And everyone ran around and started telling theirs, and I was like, well, dudes, like, mine's Prince. And I still don't know what the fuck I am. Like, I still don't know what I'm doing, and I still, like, his androgyny is what pulled me in.
Same.
Most definitely.
We have so much in common that I'm starting to think that we were separated at birth, for real.
But we really are sisters?
I mean, we really are. I think
you don't say.
Literally, we're wearing the same shirt today, listener.
Yeah, check out the Instagram, by the way. We will send you the picture. We're putting the twinning.
Yes. And, like, it's just amazing to me how that is, because I was going to say that one of my very first, I'm not going to say my first crush, because I think I had lots of crushes, but one of my most confusing crushes was David Bowie in Labyrinth.
Say less.
Okay, so
you remind me of the babe.
Track with me, if you will, listener, and pretend you're a young girl in the 80s, and you're watching this movie, and there's the tights with the bulge and the hair
and the
hands,
the glass balls.
Yes, and the makeup and
multiple balls.
And
if
I
you
remember
will.
being so confused by, like, okay, clearly he's straight, like, he had makeup on, right? So I thought, I didn't understand David Bowie. I didn't know David Bowie before that, to be honest. So I didn't understand that he already came from this very, like, androgynous place.
Sure.
And this very, like,
dancing in the street.
Yeah, like
with Mick Jagger.
Like fluid sexual situation.
Ooh, fluid. That's a good way to put it.
And I didn't realize
Flowy.
that. So when I saw him, and I saw myself as the girl Sarah in the Labyrinth movie as the Jennifer Connelly character, I remember feeling like, okay, so he's attracted to her and weirdly obsessed with her, but he's clearly, like, straight because he's attracted to this now questioning later a young girl, but he's attracted
questioning
to,
later indeed. By the way,
like, confusing.
What the actual fuck?
But he was attracted to a female and he was male, so then that was confusing. Like, why is he wearing makeup? And why does he, like, look girly? Like, why does he have soft flowing clothing on, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, yeah.
So I remember being confused by that. But my very first crush was Superman.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I do remember the first time that I saw another person that we can bring up a song, I Want Your Sex.
Ooh.
A little George Michael action. Yeah.
Like with the jeans.
I was like,
aviators.
I am pleasantly confused right now. And I still think I stay in the pleasantly confused, confined spaces of
I love
sexuality.
I love
It's all we ever need. Sexuality. I'm gonna let my body be free. That is also a Prince deep cut from the Controversy album.
There you go.
Anyway, moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and misters, Sex Magick.
Here we go.
As promised.
After
the full moon in Scorpio, we are embarking into now the new moon of Taurus. We're still in Taurian season. if you will. So we're rocking sensuality, but we're also rocking a little bit of release, a little bit of sexual tension, sexual energy. Some things may have risen to the surface with the full moon in Scorpio.
Like cream.
Get on down. Oh, girl, you nailed it. Cream.
Give me one of these.
Shabba bop, fist bumper. Yeah.
Like that little segue?
You're so good.
I inserted some Prince cream into that.
Baby, still pleasantly confused.
Same.
This
is going to be a very awkward episode.
Speaking of, though, I want to, that was a really good segue that I was not planning on, friend. Fabulous.
You're welcome.
So when Prince was writing that song, Cream, he was actually looking at himself in the mirror and speaking to himself. It was almost like a self-love spell. You're so good, baby, they ain't nobody better. So you should never ever go by the letter. You're so fine. Everything you do is success. Break the rules or make the rules and break them all because you are the best. Like he's talking to himself, and Cream always rises to the top.
Right.
So,
but also, it's fun to be on top.
It absolutely is.
It's fun, and also it's a metaphor.
It's a
double entendre.
There, entendre, baby, absolutely. Speaking of lay, you can do sex magic. So do not spit your tea at me.
It almost came out my nose.
Speaking of lay, lay. You can do it solo or with a partner / plural.
Oh,
right. Sex
Invite
magic.
Your whole neighborhood
Sex
in.
magic is about free will, freedom. You got to live what you say.
I was really
Michael.
anticipating. Okay, we're letting him come to the surface. We're killing him. He is
great.
with us. The spirit of GM is with us.
May the spirit be with you, and also with you,
and
George Michael and Michael Jackson, and we were talking about Michael Jackson last time. Thank you to those of you that sent us super cool memes and super cool awesomeness and comments from the last episode. There are people that I haven't heard from yet that are reaching out with like, here's some Michael Jackson videos and he, and all that jazz. And I believe her name is Chrissy, and she's like, by the way, I'm such a huge Genesis fan. That one song that you were talking about, The Invisible Talk Show, whatever. She's like, it's called Invisible Touch.
I know, that's
right. So I was like, oh, God.
But did she clear up the Sussudio question?
I don't think we cleared up Sussudio in the Stu studio.
Chrissy, I need a report on my desk by Monday.
5 pages, 10.5.
Exactly.
Exactly. But sex magic is, first and foremost, it's a very inclusive practice. And that's what I want to start with is it is for everybody. With harm to none, it's for everyone.
Yeah, okay.
Whether you're practicing it on your own, whether you are, wherever you are on the sexuality spectrum, you have access to this power because it's super potent. And it's not just for pleasure.
Ooh.
It is for manifestation.
Say less.
Transmutation, alchemization. And a little tease, babies, if you will. We're going into sex magic today because of the full moon in Scorpio and all that jazz, and we're having this really great cosmic space and container to speak about sex magic. But our next episode, I hope you're ready for the next episode. Hold up. Wait. It's going to be about manifestation.
Nice.
Because you and I were discussing, and you're like, I think I just figured out a way to manifest shit that I wasn't even aware of.
Yes.
And it's all the young blood story. So we can save that for next podcast. Yes. But it's all about young blood.
Because then I will be able to share the after the post.
Because
I thought about
he's
that.
coming up. Yeah. For real. So we'll get into manifestation, but this is a practice utilized for manifestation purposes, and that's why you can do it solo. In my studies, in my education about sex magic, the self-pleasure method is actually preferred if you are first starting out in the sex magic realm. Okay. And the reason for that is because you don't want to intertwine energies. You don't want to, create this cord and connection, because that's what sex magic is all about.
You don't want to open a portal and have freaking demons
boom,
come in.
Exactly.
Have your partner laying there. Have your partner laying there like, when did that get here?
Who are you?
What the fuck?
But no, it is about...
It's fine, baby. Close your eyes. I'm almost done.
And scene.
Yeah.
It's about consent, connection, and it's almost within itself like a contract.
Okay.
Like a convergence of energies. Okay. And in that sense, it makes me think of the Lover's card of the tarot.
Okay.
Right? When I look at the Lovers, it is about consent. It is about harmony and the convergence of both your male and your female energies. In if you're doing it solo, so that's one portion of the Lover's card. But if you are putting it to a relationship or a partnership, it's also the convergence of both of your energies to create a harmony and an alignment to make things happen.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to, this energy from the Lovers where you're converging. So back in the day, let's go into a little bit of history.
Let's do a little
history first.
There you go.
Remix. Is it worth it? Let me work it. I'll put my game down, flip it, and reverse it. It's your woman before you.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to see if you could do it.
It's put your game down, flip it, and reverse it.
In reverse.
Reverse.
Yeah.
I think I've said that on the podcast before, but it's such a cool little side bay.
Mm-hmm.
Back to side bay. The history. So Sex Magick is very pre-Christian.
Okay.
Pre-Christian.
That does not shock me at all.
Not shocking whatsoever, is it? And in the Buddhist, the Hindu, Egyptian, Sumerian, they have the Druids, the Celtics, the pagans in Greece, in Egypt. Like, there are so many ways that sex magic was utilized before it was taboo, before sex was shamed, before it was meant to be behind closed doors, before this whole idea of being an innocent, pure virgin and all that jazz. Like, it was the blending of the god and goddess energy. And as we just got out of Bialtina, that is exactly what that festival is for.
Oh,
so when we talk about the fertility festival, right, what we were really hinting at was the blending of the god and the goddess,
okay,
to then bless our lives, bring us abundance, bring us the things that we were looking for. And a lot of the times those sex rites or those sexual rituals were done behind closed doors with a relationship that you were already in. Right. And I'm going to give my orgasm. And that's really what sex magic is. It is the directing energy raised during sexual arousal to achieve a desired goal.
Okay.
In layman terms, in its simplicity, it is building the resonance or the coherence with your sensuality, your body, and blending the mind and the body together. So you're in the present moment in your mind, you're feeling all of the tangibility, you're feeling all of your embodiment, and then taking that resonance or that frequency. I don't even want to say energy. It is a frequency.
Yeah.
It is a different coherence within the universe that you are then manipulating. It's a manipulation of libidal energy to alter or change your reality.
Yeah.
And to, with intention, infuse more power into that orgasm. So then when you release that orgasm, you're visualizing exactly what you want. And therefore, you know how I always say, take care of the boomerangs that you're sending out? We always talk about the energies that you're sending out are going to come back to you. And instead of boomerangs, boom, boom, pow, I call these bangerangs.
Okay.
Rufio bangerangs.
Like Rufio.
Exactly. Yes. 100% bangerang.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I think about it. It's not just a boomerang that you're sending out and hoping that it comes back to you, whatever. This one is, and sex magic is fast. It is very potent. It is pungent. It is palatable. It is powerful.
It's all the P's.
And very connected with fire energy, wand energy of the tarot. It is fast as fuck.
Okay.
And I have utilized sex magic for roughly now almost a decade.
Okay.
And really it has come through in ways that I did not even see. Okay. Right? Because when you do visualize, obviously with every visualization, the more in-depth and detailed, right? They tell you to smell it and see it and feel it and embody it.
Okay.
And be in that vision of what it already looks like or what it looks like and what it feels like to already have what you are asking for or the intentions you're setting.
Okay.
So the more detailed and the more into it, the more embodied you can get into this visualization, and it's a great visualization practice. And that's why I say to start solo. We riding solo, right? Yep. Starting solo is a great place to begin because of this consent, because of this connection. You're going to want to really embody that by yourself first. And we can go into some manifestation practices with a partner, but I really want to kind of just go into what it feels like to do it solo.
I love that.
Do you have any questions before I move on? I feel like that was a lot of...
No, but here's little feedback. So it's interesting as I'm sitting here and I'm watching you talk about this, and inside my brain is going, whoa, slow down. Okay, this is a lot. Like my brain is throwing up a red flag here and a red flag there and a roadblock here.
What are your red flags?
Yes. Well, I mean, I don't even know. I think it would take all fucking podcast to figure it out.
That's a different episode?
Yeah, a whole one. That might be the whole rest
That's
of my
next
life.
episode.
Quite honestly, yeah. But I just want to speak to anybody who might have reached for the knob to turn the podcast off. Please stick with us.
Oh yeah,
because this episode might have a little bit of a trigger warning because sex is a thing.
Sex is tabooby dooby doo.
Well, and it's laced with so many other things.
Oh, goddess,
please just, as Kitty always says, take what you need,
and the rest you can leave.
And the rest you can leave. Just allow yourself to sit in this as long as you can and just absorb, and then maybe go back and listen to it later, and then maybe go back and listen to it a year later. And so I'm just noticing as you're starting, I wanted to be like, hold on a sec, I need a breather. I'm pinching in my side. And
I'm so glad that you're bringing that portion up, because if someone sees this episode and they're like, Sex Magick, well, that sounds provocative. Mm-hmm. I want to listen to that one. Yes. A lot of people listen to the last one because they're like, the corpse rotting in the corner.
Hello.
Right?
Yes.
Full moon in Scorpio and how to take care of the corpse rotting in the corner. Well, This is Sex Magick and how to use your orgasm to alter your life.
I love that.
Right? And
see, that's
when I say alter, I mean both. You were going to say stick around?
I was just going to say, that even just that tag right there is for me a reason enough to pique my curiosity, but I might just be over here behind hiding behind a pillow.
That's okay. You can put your hands over your eyes and peek through the fingers. That's okay.
And I'm being a little over dramatic about it because shut up. I'm holding up one finger. I'll let you guess which one it is, listener.
The bird. The bird is the word.
But I just want to speak to the way that we're going to speak about this. Like, you know, like there's going to be some people that are going to be like, even just talking about it is scary. And I can hang them here, but there's going to be some people that might be hesitant. So please just stick with us, because I'm here. I have to.
Well, thank you.
So.
You have no choice in the matter.
That's right.
But you have consented.
Yes, I have.
We are consensual.
Yes, exactly.
Am I consensual? Yeah. I say that now when I sing it.
You do?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like in the kid ones, in the festivals when I'm doing the band and we do everybody. Yeah. I say consensual, and you should see some of the moms are like, yeah, girl, and they just jam because they want to say, you sexual, and that's what they're thinking it is.
Yeah, but
then I consensual on them, and they're like, oh, I like this girl.
Yes,
I like her.
We have a song in our set list too that we talk about consent, and now I can't. I think because some of those songs from the 80s are just, they cross lines, right? But so after every show, we're like, but with consent, of course.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? So.
Right, like I think about George Michael. I want your sex, like, but consent to sex. Like, how do you change it to be like, listen, let's reframe that whole thing.
Okay. Right? So thank you for the aside. Please continue.
Please
at whatever
continue.
Speed you like.
Okay,
you don't got to go slow for me. No,
I love this topic. And I'm so glad we're speaking about it.
Some
because
people like it slow.
They do. Some people do like it slow. Yep. Let's wait a while before it's too late. Let's wait a while before we go too far. Ooh, a little Janet for us. Hell yeah. All right, so let's go back to why would I use Sex Magick? Okay, and it brings me to so many, like, I tried to think of all the songs that are like, Love and Sex and Magic, Little Sierra and Justin Timberlake, I don't know or the album Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Mm-hmm. Give it away give it away now.
I was going to say
right? And that's, I'm trying to think of all these songs, but in reality, like, why would you utilize Sex Magick? Why would you utilize pleasure and your orgasm? Because on that same spectrum of, being sexually awakened, still keeping it taboo and behind closed doors, there is a spectrum, and not everyone can orgasm.
That's the other question I was going to have.
Right? And the orgasm isn't necessarily, or the peak. What we're looking for is the resonance of pleasure. Yes. Because that in itself, if you think about life force, that is our life force. That is our creativity. Our sexual energy from our root and our sacral chakra are where life is born. literally and figuratively, energetically, right? Esoterically, however you want to say that. So when we're thinking about sex magic, the orgasm isn't necessarily the pinnacle.
Right.
It is just the raising of what people know as your kundalini energy, right?
It's the conversation that you're having with your sacral energy.
Body and your chakras, and opening up your energetic portals. Right. You think about opening up your root and your sacral chakra. I feel like a lot of humans, silly humans, have problems in their sacral chakra.
Of course.
And because that's where we hold our sexuality. And if something, and creativity and sensuality, that's where we hold a lot of our safety in the root.
Yes.
And if we don't feel safe, if something happened to us in our past that has closed that space down, reawakening it by doing these solo self-pleasuring acts is a form of energetic and shadow work in itself.
Ooh, I love that. May I also stop and take a break here for a second, because I want to also encourage that as much as we talk about the sacral chakra, the root chakra, and all of those places where safety and pleasure and creativity and all of that, but also your brain. I mean, it has long been said that the number one the best sex organ, the number one sex organ is the brain. And so it's that agreement, right, with our brain and our sacral energy. So we have all of these things. The other thing I was going to mention is when you were talking about stress and how that can put a damper on, when you were talking about how you can put a damper on things, or if you're not feeling safe.
Of course.
I wanted to add that then to the stress component as well. I read a book recently by Dr. Emily Nagoski. It's called Come As You Are. No pun intended.
Come as you
I knew you were going there.
As you were.
But I will say that this book was incredible way to understand female physiology in the way as a sexual being. It talks about how when women, it mostly speaks to women. So it talks about how when women are stressed, it's kind of like if we have, like in the car, right? Like we have the go pedal and the brake, right?
Sure.
So we have the accelerator and the brake, and when we are stressed, so if the go pedal is yes to sex, right? Then the brake would be I can't do it. And it's like if you're stressed, it's like your foot is hovering over the brake.
Ooh.
And then if like one bad thing, somebody like looks at you weird in traffic or something, boom, it presses the.
Oh, but you ride the brake.
You ride the brake.
You ride the brake.
And if you're stressed, so just knowing that, I remember I felt really bad because I was always stressed and always mental and doing all of these things, and I just couldn't access some things. Yes, and I couldn't access my sexuality, and then learning that is a really key component about having no stress. Now, can we live a stress-free life? Maybe. Do we? No, because we live on the planet. Hello. But to be mindful of how that plays into our ability to engage in this conversation with our bodies.
100%.
That's all I wanted to say.
Well, and also what you just pretty much pointed to was sex magic is a way to move that stagnant energy in ways that maybe you haven't tried before.
Right.
Because the release of pleasure in itself, if your intention is to release old wounds or belief systems from your sacral chakra, and then that's the visualization of the person you get to become if this block or weight was taken from you, or this old residual, we talk about ghost energy in the full moon of Scorpio, and to take this ghost energy away and release it and give it to the ether with positive intentions behind it, right? Like I said, with harm to none, it's for everyone.
Gotcha.
And the release of guilt, old wounds, shame, abandonment issues, am I a bad person? The things that we were speaking about in the old podcast. I feel like sexual manifestation practices and alchemy and transcendence and creating this harmony and alignment in yourself is such a powerful practice that doesn't deserve to be taboo, doesn't deserve to be looked at as shameful or sinning or dirty or gross. Right. And also in my education, I learned about the sacred sex worker archetype.
Oh,
or the powerful prostitute archetype.
Okay.
And we can go into that here in a minute. And I think, that's a whole other that's a whole other episode on itself. Mary Magdalene and Isis and Aphrodite and all of those goddesses. But I wanted to go back to the history of this because before pre-Christian, before the you need to stay celibate and don't be dirty and be innocent for your husband and all of these things where the patriarchal lens completely flipped and distorted the way that we view sex as a power,
Yeah.
the way we view orgasm as our own potency and our own essence, life force.
Yes.
And bringing it back to the old ways and the old versions of looking at it, you know, when for example, orgy, like it comes from a word that symbolizes like life force together, connection, where it's not looked at as some fucking Pornhub nasty what have you. It's looked at as a party and a celebration of all putting these bangarangs into the universe at the same time, so that we can alter our reality and alter and raise the frequency and the coherence of the people in the collective, as well as the ripples that come from that. Yeah. So when you are thinking about what are reasons that I would even want to begin sex energetic magic and raising my frequency to a new space of resonance, you know, you can utilize this manifestation ritual for abundance, for money, for a job, for a career, for finding love, for self-love, for abundance, for fertility, stress relief. You can use it for it's solidifying boundaries. You can use it to create protection around you from your family or your whatever it may be. You can utilize it. If you can visualize it and see it and feel it, you can have it.
Okay.
And that's how I've utilized sex magic in ways that I wasn't even aware of at the time. But then, you know, and I can honestly say I've never necessarily utilized sex magic with a partner yet.
Okay.
Where they're fully on board and you know, when you're pleasuring together and sending out both bangarangs together. I never have done that yet.
Okay.
And I feel like solo is just as powerful, if not more powerful, because of the deep embodiment and the deep reverence and appreciation and respect that you're able to have for yourself afterwards. Mm-hmm. But a lot of us have to break through that. Yeah. I mean, I had to break through, you know, masturbation was looked at as something that was a absolute sin. That is the devil. That is the devil's hands.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second. What if they're goddess hands? What if I'm calling in the energy? I call in Aphrodite. Aphrodite is my OG. Mm-hmm. I call in the energy of Aphrodite a lot when I am in, you know, sex magic circle, if you will. Mm-hmm. And we'll go into how to do a spell here in a little bit. But I call in Aphrodite and I try to embody her. And if that makes my brain go into, I am calling in other energy to then step into that myself. So I don't necessarily need to embody it myself. I can utilize a deity or a god or a goddess in order to help me get to this point of feeling confident and sexy and sensual and connected and embodied in my power.
Yeah. I also want to speak a little bit to what engaging in this kind of stuff can mean. It can be it can be meaningful. It can be powerful. It can also open up stuff.
Old wounds.
Or you might find as you're experimenting, as you're curating your relationship in this way, you may find that, oh, this actually turns me on and I didn't think it would.
Sure.
Or, you know, and sometimes I think, like, in my very recent past, I've been privy to conversations with people in my life who might have less conventional ways of expressing themselves sexually.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm talking about maybe people who like engage in fetish or who, like you talked
polyamory.
about polyamory, lifestyle choices, etc. Okay,
absolutely. And no judgment, Judy.
Yeah, so that I just want to also move forward on this to say that, you know, and even like just when you made that very quick talking about porn, like some people, I remember one time I went to a therapist and we were talking about porn and she said, why is porn bad? And I said, well, because those people are those people are like trafficked or they're high or they're children. Sure. Or, you know, some kind. And she said, are all of them? And I was like, well, I mean, I guess
some of them are consensual adults.
Some of them are consenting. Some of them feel powerful in that space.
Absolutely.
Some of them make a decent living. I mean, we're OnlyFans and porn, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to also speak to and empower those people who are making that part of their life and are learning new things about themselves that might feel a little scary.
Well, and are also taking back the power of being a sex worker.
Yes.
Like the word prostitute was meant to be like a sacred sex worker. You think about brothels back in the day. You think about all these goddesses and their priestesses that would, I think about Aphrodite and her priestesses, or what have you, orgies or sex rites. They call it the Great Rite. Pagans, Wiccans call it the Great Rite, when the god and the goddess came together, and it was a natural part of the wheel of the year.
Right.
And when the patriarchal lens, created this misunderstanding, this skewed view, that sex worker archetype, or that sacred spouse, or that person, the male and the female, the counterpart that would connect, and sex was something that was revered. It was something that was very special. It was something that was looked at as a magical rite that we all get to experience.
Yep.
And if you want to bring someone else into it, and they're absolutely consensual, and they're there in the moment, and you tell them what you want to manifest, or what boomerang, bangarang you want to send out, and then they're open and willing to be in that visualization with you, that was what a sex worker and a prostitute was. So when you look at, for example, and that brings me to
almost like
Mary motherfucking Magdalene.
Well, that almost feels like it's almost like therapy, or sex as a healing modality.
1000%. That's what I mean by it's an energetic shadow work in itself.
Wow.
It is a healing modality.
Yeah.
Because not only are you rewiring the beliefs that you were handed from people that were afraid of the power of sex, but take what you need, the rest you can leave. They're doing it underground, and they're using sexual rights for their manifestation purposes, but then making us feel that it's wrong and taboo and bad, so that therefore we lose connection with the power we have in our own bodies, in the embodiment of what sexual magic can bring to us. So that sex worker, it was an energetic exchange with a directed result.
Okay.
And if you think about, I think about Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and how she was painted to be a bad person and a prostitute. Well, back in the day, a prostitute was actually a revered role in society, because they were the beauty, they were the embodiment, they were the presence, they were the power that one could plug into to bring this energetic exchange together.
And what also brings to mind, and I know that these like geisha also comes
Bingo,
to mind.
1000%.
Now geisha,
that's a great one.
I don't have a lot of experience in geisha, but one of my very favorite books of all time is Memoirs.
100%.
And
Great movie.
It is one of my very, very favorite books. If you ever get a chance to read the book, it's just
I have.
highly.
Yes.
So you have. Okay.
Yep.
So, and I know that as a general rule, geisha were artists, and they were artists of beauty, and they were manifestors of beauty.
They would play music, they would do art.
Hostesses, like they were basically vehicles of pleasure. And I think there were arrangements where there was where sex was included in some of that, but I think there were more like arrangements, like these women came with a menu, if you will.
Sure.
And this
a turn you on menu.
Yes.
It in sense.
Yes. And they were artists at it. And
yes.
they were incredible, beautiful artists, and it was a very revered and respected type of job. And even the in this book that I read, which I'm sure is nonfiction, but at the end, which I'm sure is fiction, but there's even the agreement of taking a geisha's virginity.
Yes.
It's like a very powerful financial situation for the place where that geisha would be living or be studying under. So that comes to mind when you talk about beauty and power.
Yeah.
So,
Beauty and power. And you think about, potentially brothels, you think about these priestess places, they were probably on the exact same wavelength. I think about Aphrodite, and I think about Mary Magdalene, and there are so many, Ishtar, Isis, there are so many, fertility, sex goddesses that they were revered. And like you just said with Memoirs of a Geisha, they took such great care of themselves. Like I think about the scenes where, they had to sleep on that pillow, and if they fell off, it was rice or something.
Yeah, you mean like
and
the block
feet
that
binding,
was
yes,
yeah,
and
the
feet binding
and
and all of these things, which were, that tradition, but they were looked at as company I want to be with. And the sex magic comes not just from, like I said, the pinnacle or an orgasm. It's not just like a quick, bang me, bangarang, and done. It's more like how long can we take to turn me on different levels?
Yep.
The sensuality of it. Because that's part of sex magic, is being turned on. Turning on your portals, turning on your body, turning on the connection between your mind and your embodiment. And that's exactly what a geisha was meant to do, or a woman of the night. if you will. And until
like a hostess, like an artist slash hostess slash
a space holder.
Yes.
Of you want to feel the enjoyment and the exhilaration and the anomaly of what it feels like to be turned on in all of these ways.
Yes.
And I'm going to be a practitioner of said pleasure.
Yes, that's exactly what they were.
Ooh.
I know, does it kind of make you want to run away?
Ooh, it kind of makes me want to. No, I'm just kidding. JK.
But these women, I remember reading about like chapters and chapters of how these women like would create their hairdos and the certain kind of wax they would use and how they were just, and just like the preparation that went into their embodiment in this moment.
And it wasn't, I think back then
it was a ritual in itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, the ways that we put on makeup and, you know, I imagine them doing the beauty rituals, the glamour magic, all of that stuff, not because they're putting forward an image of what he's going to like or what he wants.
No.
It's more, I'm doing this for myself
so
that I can show up in my most confident, most beautiful, most sensually embodied
and whoever
version.
Is attracted.
And whoever gets that, you better watch out, motherfucker. He's gonna get that. Yes, absolutely.
And I just a very quick moment. I just love taking that. I don't mean to keep interrupting your flow.
Please do. You're a part of this podcast, baby.
I love how, you know, the mindset of loving and taking care of ourselves and putting some effort into ourselves because we enjoy it, and then therefore inspiring people around us. And not everybody has to get it. Not everybody has to like your makeup. Not everybody has to like what you wore today. But if you can show up how you want to show up, then that's what's attractive. It might not be your shirt. It might not be your foundation on your face. It might be, you know, just the fact.
You know what it is? It's your motherfucking magnetism.
It's your soul coming through.
It is your life force reverberating and resonating and exchanging energy with the people around you. And when you plug into the art, like you said, it's a practice, it's an art of sex magic. And showing up for yourself and releasing old wounds and building yourself up and calling in what you want to receive and embodying that energy. People can feel it, people can see it, you start to glow, and it shows. It really, people are like, man, I noticed you stepped into the room before I even saw you.
Yes.
And that's the kind of magnetism that comes from the practicing of pleasure for oneself first and foremost, to then share with others if they deem necessary and or, you know, if they want to at all.
Right.
So when you think about that sacred archetype of the spirit spouse or the powerful prostitute and changing and reframing what that means, the means of achieving a higher purpose is the end goal.
Okay.
So not only are you achieving something higher or you're achieving a better resonance when you do it solo, the other person or peoples, if they are all in a consensual connected space container, they are also raising to their higher purpose, if you will. And it can be, and you can use sex magic for really anything at all. It can be practical. It can be, you know what, I don't feel very good. I have nausea right now, and I'm just going to embody and visualize the nausea going away, releasing, you know, the knot from my stomach untying. It can be completely practical. And then when you have your orgasm or when you know, get to this pleasureful place, and it doesn't have to be all centered on your sacral or on your reproductive organs.
Of course.
Right? Like, it could be the honey in your tea. It could be the breeze on your face. It could be any way of plugging into sensuality to turn yourself or resonate on a higher frequency.
Yep.
And utilizing that vision as you're turning yourself on, seeing that vision in its entirety, and then moving forward as if that is your reality. You've altered reality because it is fast, it is fire, it is wand, it is now.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, even if it is taboo and even if it is misconstrued and misunderstood, reframing and taking back the power that you have when it comes to your sexual, your libido energy is such a powerful personal practice that speaks volumes in the ether. So if you're listening right now and you're like, oh, you know, I've been kind of thinking about it and I've been kind of, you know, whatever, just begin in small ways. It doesn't have to be full masturbation or self-pleasure. It can be, like I said, just sensuality, laying on the grass, grounding, that kind of thing.
Yes. Or touching your body in different ways to wake up different things.
Body.
Like one of this, roll you on the floor. It's one of my favorites,
Yeah.
man. It's on the top of that sex playlist. There you go. Create a sex playlist.
There you go.
That you don't even listen to while you're doing anything. Maybe you just have it around.
About you, I touch my head.
That's not the sexiest song because there's so many people like Austin Powers has danced to that.
Well, it's not really sexy.
It kind of took the fire out of it for me. But yeah, put some Mariah in there. Put some
Jump
Usher.
Next
There's Genuine. Or Jingle Bells. If you enjoyed
Jingle Bells. Hey.
Remember I came over to your house and I was like, let's play.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Oh, now I'm gonna have to put that on the website.
Oh, that's
too.
fabulous. I was
video.
Erotically dancing to Jingle Bells.
Well, we asked Alexa, and the reason I'm spelling it is because we're in the room with one right now. But we asked Alexa if we could have Pony by Genuine, and I said,
it played Jingle Bells.
And it played Jingle Bells, and I said to her, "Your challenge is that you have to." I don't remember why we were doing it, but I was like, "You have to dance to Genuine My Pony by Genuine," and we asked her to play it, and
she did not.
She did Jingle Bells, and I think it was
but
like
you
Frank
got
Sinatra.
A good show. You got a good show, though.
And Kitty, she committed to it. She
Talk
was like,
about
here we go,
magnetism.
That's right. I've never seen it.
I was a practitioner of pleasure.
Dance, monkey, dance.
I want your sex, right? And I was connected in that moment. I was connecting to myself.
I love that.
I was connecting to myself. I was embodying pleasure. I was getting into the moment. I was connecting my mind and my body. And it was a turn on of sorts because it was fun and it was,
silly
and whimsical.
Yes.
Right? Not only can sex magic work for practical ways, it can work for very whimsical ways as well.
Yes.
I want to shine a lot more. I want my vocals to come out and be singing bird-like song notes. Like, you can really get crazy with whatever it is that you want to create, because you are igniting your pleasure center, your creatrix, your creation station, your womb, if you will.
Whom?
Your womb. So, like I said, you are igniting your root and sacral, and you are working with consent. You're working with a contract of connection to yourself or to others if you're deciding to bring others into your sexual magic practice. And if anything, you're working with vulnerable embodiment, right? When the Lover's card comes up for me, it also signifies, like, are you actually being vulnerable with yourself and your partner?
Right.
So not only is it consensual, it's consensual vulnerability, which leads to the embodiment of your authentic self. And that's when the Lover's card comes up for me. That's always what I imagine it to be. Yep. And not only is it going with the Lover's card, but also when you think about the Magician card in the tarot. And I always bring things back to the tarot just because that's the archetypes that I connect with. Mm-hmm. But the Magician to me is like, you are straight up sleeping on your motherfucking potential. Yeah. And you have everything you need to have everything you need. You have all the elements, all the tools, everything is at your fingertips. Now it's time for you to mold that motherfucker into what it is you want to manifest, and how you want to take energy and create something else out of that energy and create an alchemical process. Libido alchemical process, if you will. To alter your reality.
I love that. It sounds like some Matrix shit.
Right? Take the red pill, take the blue pill.
Well, do what you will. Take them both.
Do what you will with the pill. Take them both. Fuck it up.
Just nothing happens.
And scene.
Just blue, nothing happens. Red, nothing. Just take them both. Just cancels each other out.
So I want to go into a little bit about how.
I was hoping you would.
For, how now, brown cow, about, how do I even start this process? Okay. And if I would always say create an altar of some kind. Create an altar, AR, in order to alter, ER. Right? Okay. The altar, okay, if you will.
Gotcha.
So utilizing the reds and the oranges, of course, as I mentioned, if you wanted to bring some gemstones in, maybe your carnelian for sacral chakra, some red tiger's eye, some garnet.
I want to add to that something that has helped me a lot with Sex Magic, now that I think of it, is blue.
For your throat?
For your throat. Because I think with...
I
think with vocalizing, all of that is connected, right? Like the vagus nerve runs down from the back of our brains all the way down to the back of our butt. So that, I think all of that is connected. So really and truly, loving on the orange and the red, but also the blue
Well, that's
crown.
the Kundalini as well. That's the
Yes.
energy when you're working with your Shakti, if you will, or you can think of like the snake Kundalini energy
Coming up out of your
coiling
mouth.
up,
Yep.
and then coiling back down.
Yes.
That's why people or some people practice tantra,
Yes.
however you like to say it. That is the edging or the building of energy in order to awaken that Kundalini, awaken that Shakti, and with intention. And I'm so glad you said when we're moving with how. I think about the Sufi grind when you literally are on the ground on your knees or wherever you are just moving and circling, rolling your hips and just awakening that coil that, I think about a battery or what have you.
Yep.
And I
Like
think
you're
about
winding a clock,
or
kinda.
the stovetops that have the coil.
Yes.
That's exactly how I imagine it.
Okay.
And then that coil rises, and with intention, you can visualize that and have that be a part of your sexual magic ritual as well. Is imagine like stirring your root and moving that energy, because that's what we're doing when we're partaking in this pleasure. Is we are awakening stagnant energy and we are igniting ourselves to resonate on a different coherence or a different frequency.
Got it.
So yes, we start with root and sacral, and that's where the power is
Comes
housed.
from, yeah.
But yes, then moving it up to your solar plexus, which brings more magnetism, more charisma. Moving it up to your heart space, obviously forgiveness, opening, and then the throat, maybe singing a little bit while or
vocalizing,
or you said even the screaming of pleasure, the moaning and or of your turn on type of a thing, moving that as well. So that's something that we definitely are working within, and we have the opportunity to harness. So yes, how? So let's start by visualizing the openness and the Shakti or the Kundalini energy, the coil awakening, reverberating, heating up, so to speak. So you can start there, and then also setting a circle. Set your space first before you start anything, because we as witches, we want to be protected. We want to make sure that we're safe. You know what I'm saying?
No,
yep, safe to do the set. You can dance if you want to. Safety, dance. Before you dance,
fast version.
Before you dance, dance, magic, dance. Before you dance, let's set our circle. We have some of those gemstones that work. Anything pink, like ruby tourmaline. Yep, rose quartz, fantastic. Pink opal, pink moonstone, peach moonstone. Think about those self-love awakening stones, those fiery stones. If you were to do a scent or maybe like diffuse or a lotion, maybe jasmine, ylang ylang, sandalwood would be great.
Patchouli.
Clary sage, patchouli, motherfucking patchouli, naga champa, chomp.
Chomp your chomp.
Champa.
But I also would say, just like any scent or oil or
anything that
stone
turns you on.
Yes.
Yep. Turn me on, let me hold you, don't go rest my body. You remember that one?
Who's that?
Oh gosh, what was his name? Wayne Wonder.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's fancy.
Turn Me On by Wayne Wonder or Rupee. I don't remember their names.
Okay.
It was literally when I was in high school sometime. But
I don't know.
it just brings me to that part. Side Bay,
that
super deep cut. Yeah, era remix.
Now it's out of you. You can move on.
But that's the ignition portion of it. So envision your circle, right?
Sorry.
So set it, not forget it. Set your intention, set your circle, and then you're gonna want to see it. So step one is set it, your circle, set your space, set your intention. And then you're going to want to see it. So sit in that space that you've created with intention, call in your elements, call in your deities, call in your cross quarters, whatever it is you want. And then you're going to see it and visualize exactly what it is. It could be practical, it could be whimsical, it could be for yourself, it could be calling in love. As long as you are feeling it with harm to none. Practice your practice, take what you need, the rest you can leave. But with harm to none, it's for everyone.
Okay.
And then we're going to want to feel it. So not only do you see it, but you want to feel your way into it. What does it feel to already have what I'm asking for? What does it feel like to have the intention right here in me, in my tangible physical world, after I've already altered my reality? And then we want to ground in that and embody that. And that's what I mean by the Sufi grind, or we want to embody and awaken those chakras, awaken our body, so that when we do feel that, we have a vessel in which for it to land, to solidify, right? That's the foundation, is our body. Okay. When we have these big visualizations that we want to manifest, we get the chance to bring it into our body so that we can feel it and embody that vibration and frequency. And then we want to send it out. Send out that bangarang. And you do that with pleasure. It doesn't have to reach pinnacle. It could be, like I said, a building of or an energetic edging, if you will. But send out the boomerang, and then acknowledge it, and then seal it. And what I mean by sealing it is I release this into the universe, I let it go, and then I acknowledge that it's there, and then I'm going to let it be. And in order to let it be, which this is something that I also learned that I don't do enough, I feel, in my own sexual magic practice, is afterwards, because this is a huge ritual, let yourself rest and chill. Take a nap.
Absorb.
Exactly. Let it integrate. Let it change your cells. Let it change your body on a cellular level. Let it, ignite your atoms, if you will.
Yep.
And then enjoy the buzz.
Yeah.
Because you just created a natural high.
Yeah.
So enjoy the buzz from the high that you've created. And then just simmer in that feel, simmer in that visualization. Stay there for as long as you can, as long as you want. Sleep on it. Or you can take a shower afterwards. This is one that I've just recently learned, where if your manifestation or transcendence has something to do with you releasing something, then cleanse yourself from your crown on down.
Okay.
If you are trying to pull something in, cleanse yourself from your feet all the way back up to your crown.
Okay.
To pull it in, if that makes sense,
yes.
Right? Definitely journal on receiving, journal on what you're releasing, journal on everything, and put these spells in your grimoire. Okay. You can just have one sentence, be like, you know what, I had a bangarang, and this is what I intended to do with it.
Okay.
And also, it doesn't have to be a one-time thing. Sex magic is a muscle.
Okay.
Just like you're being positive on purpose, finding silver linings, speaking to yourself differently, changing your language, everything that is good in the world is a muscle that we get to work. Is it worth it? Let me work it. It absolutely is. Yep. Work, right? So when we're working that muscle, it's, like I said, it's fast. It works well, and it works quickly. And doing it for longer periods of time. I have heard people doing sex magic rituals every single day for 40 plus days, where the tantra lasts for that long. Sometimes maybe starting at 7 days is a nice one as well. In our next episode, ready for the next episode, I'm going to share a double part type of a manifestation ritual, where it's a 7-day type of an ideal. Ooh. Where not only are you calling in, but you're releasing at the same time. And that is that in my general overall experience, that is the best way to jump timelines.
Okay.
Is to, and I'll get into this in the next episode, obviously, but so to kind of bring it on back, set your circle. So set it, see it, feel it, embody and ground it, send it off, bangarang, and then seal it and say thank you, gratitude, and then just chill and simmer in it.
Okay.
So that's how I would begin a sex magic practice.
Okay.
Do you have any questions? That was a lot of info, by the way. Sisters and misters, if you have been practicing sex magic, if you have any questions, feel free to do your own educating on all of this stuff. Yes. This is just the Sex Magic 101, if you will.
And I also think that there's something to be said in the journey of it, right? Like
the process of pleasure.
This is such a process, because I will admit my brain wanted to dissociate a couple of times.
Sure.
Because of the information coming in was like, you know what I mean? Just because of
it sounds scary.
It will, and like I said, there's so many things attached to that.
Of course, yes.
And you might find things that you didn't realize were attached to that, et cetera, et cetera. And then there was, of course, 100 inappropriate stories I wanted to share. But but we don't want to get kicked off of this platform.
No, we do not.
So, but no, I really appreciate how this works itself out and how you've communicated this. I think the biggest thing for me is when I'm trying to get to a place where there is a pinnacle, right? Where the fireworks go off.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a ritual. I mean, there's already things that I might be imagining. There might be already some things I might be visualizing or watching or participating in or whatever to get you to that place. So how then can you combine these manifestation, plans, if you will, that you're like, I'm gonna do this about money. I'm gonna have sex about money today. You know what I mean? How can you like be engaged with this awesome hot thing that's happening, but also be thinking about the money intentions you have?
You know, I don't know if I know a perfect answer to that, because in my own practice, you tripped on something where it's like, oh, this feels really good, and I'm being embodied, and my brain is with my body, the pleasure that I'm feeling, and that's right, I have to think about $100,000 in my bank account, right? You know, and it's almost like it takes you out of.
Yes.
And that is the muscle.
Oh, interesting.
That's the muscle that you get to work with, because it's
training it from or to and. Really.
Right, absolutely. No, not but, it's and.
Yeah.
It's, I see this money in my bank account and I'm feeling this in my body, so therefore the mind-body connection comes together. If you find yourself losing it and then coming back to it and then losing it, or like I said, you know, oh, that's right, I have to think about this project that I'm creating, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, damn, there goes my
Yeah, well, or like in my case, I could see myself laying there being like, I really want my children to have a good situation.
Oh,
you know,
you don't want to be, okay,
I don't want to think about my son, you know, when I'm in that moment.
Understood. And if you look at it this way, Sex Magick is working on yourself first.
Right.
So in order to help your son, how do you want to better show up?
So instead
of love spells, you're not going to force someone to love you. You're going to force yourself to love, not force, but you're going to work on loving yourself to then
become
reverberate that magnetism and charisma to then attract said partner to your life.
Okay.
So thinking of it that way as well, you know, and also it's going to be about comfort and consent.
Yeah.
I don't know if your son wants to be in your brain while you are doing, you know, like, you're not going to talk to your son about, hey, by the way, do you mind if I think about, you're like, that's not where we're at with that. And I think that's a phenomenal question, because it goes back to practical and whimsical, but also we're thinking about our own fibers and makeup of who we are.
And how we show up in these situations.
100%.
How we show up for our son and our husbands and our
how do I become a better partner? And that goes back to the Lover's card, is the alignment and the harmony of your male and your female put together. Right. And that's what we're trying to create with Sex Magick, is that harmony and alignment. So therefore we move forward. All of our relationships are better. Our career is better. Our job is better. Yes. Everything is better, because we ourselves are working on aligning into that alchemical transition into being better.
That's awesome.
Does that connect?
Yes.
I hope so.
That's like sexual healing.
Oh.
I knew I was going to stick it in somewhere.
Girl.
That didn't come out right.
Nope. Prince Cream. But I do love that you ended on Marvin Gaye, baby.
Yes.
When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. Sexual healing. Oh, baby. Makes me feel so fine. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters, misters, that is really all I have for this episode. We are rocking and rolling for an hour. Like I said, it's a 101, just kind of scratching the surface, if you will, scratching the sexy itch, if you will, 7-year itch.
Yep.
And if you have any questions, if you want to reach out, or like I said, if you want to do your own deep dive into what sexual energy and this creative life force and your Shakti and the Kundalini and the gods and goddesses, whatever hit you or pulled you in, whether it be a little bit of fear, a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of excitement, a little butterfly in your belly, whatever it might have been, I urge you to follow it in some way, shape, or form, and just try it. You'll like it. Maybe you like it. You know, hey, Mikey, he likes it.
We ended on a little boy again. That's not good. Nope. Let's go back to sexual.
I want your sex. Yes. Let's go back to George Michael.
No, but yes, I love that. And please, also, listener, if you have anything to add within reason, please, by all means, jump in the comments. You know, I'd love to hear the feedback.
Absolutely.
Especially.
And you can get a hold of us on Spotify. You can get a hold of us at magicismessy.com.
Yep.
You can get a hold of me, magicismessy@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can reach out in any way, shape, or form feels good to you. I would love to exchange energy. I'd love to connect. As always, I really appreciate, and I know Ace does too, that we get your feedback, like Chrissy, and hey, it's invisible touch, by the way. I'm a Genesis fan. Don't my Phil Collins, you know what I'm saying?
Don't mess with my Collins.
Yeah, you hear me though? You hear me though. And I really just want to say thanks, gratitude always. for you, Ace, for being open to learning in real time about these.
And
these
thank you for being willing to
sometimes
teach
taboo
it.
topics. Yes. And then next episode, we will be diving more deeply into some manifestation rituals, talking about what is manifestation and some ways, because there are so many different ways to, in essence, quotes, manifest what you need or what you want to bring to the tangible physical world, and altering your reality by making yourself the altar.
Love that.
Dig it? You are the temple. Boo.
You are the temple.
You, boo, be the temple. All right, that is all I have. Sisters and misters, witches and wizards, boys, girls, diamonds, and pearls, thank you so much for being a part of the Magic is Messy Collective.
Shall we seal?
Let's seal this episode, and we will see you next time for some motherfucking manifestation. Ready, break. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. Sexually.